Hey everyone, welcome back to Noiseberry Games. So I just 5 minutes ago finished playing Elden Ring. I finished my first playthrough of the game. Did it pretty much entirely blind. I looked up a couple of things just to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Like mostly I would play through a whole area of the game completely blind, and then once I thought I was done, I would take a look at a completed map of the area and go and check off a couple of, small dungeons, things like that I missed. Mostly playing it blind, I found pretty much everything myself. My character had 85 hours in it. It was level 162, something like that. So it's just a little bit longer than a normal old Dark Souls game. I think even in like a co-op series for Dark Souls 3, we're only spending like 20 to 30 hours on it, and I did this whole playthrough solo, and it's 85 hours, and I didn't do like entirely everything. I still missed some things. But I figured, because obviously the Souls series is very important to me, I was very much looking forward to this game. I have played it a lot since it came out. Like Steam says I'm at 93 hours, because I've done a little bit of co-op so far. I only done an hour of co-op, not sure where the other like 7 extra hours of Steam times come from. But yeah, I just figured I should probably talk about it, because this is the first Souls FromSoft series that I haven't done a solo series on first. So the very first time I played Dark Souls 1, I did it in a series. The very first time I played Dark Souls 2, I did it in a series. And the very first time I played Dark Souls 3, I did it in a series. So being able to just start this up day one, I record footage but not have to record my voice over it or anything, it was quite liberating. I'm glad I didn't try and do a series on this, because A, I don't have the time to record it and edit it, but also because, like I said, I've spent 85 hours playing this. That would be the longest series in the world. It would not do well on YouTube at all. So for now, you're just going to have to do with some of my slightly rambly thoughts after just finishing the game in this video. And like I did say, we've recorded an hour of co-op so far. So a co-op series is going to come at some point. It might not come out for a long time. The three of us are obviously very busy. Chris has a baby due literally any day now. So not only is this game like 4 times longer than Dark Souls, we also, the three of us, have less time to record now, so it's gonna be a very long running series, but it'll happen eventually. So yeah, Elden Ring. I'm still a little torn on where I would place this in my favorite games. Like right now, I'm sure this is gonna be my game of the year for 2022. I would be very surprised if any other game comes out this year that sucks me in like this. Like, it's very rare for me to think of a game basically 24/7. Like, I would be at work just wanting to come home to play Elden Ring. I would listen to the soundtrack at work. Like, days I would work from home, I would log out of my remote computer stuff the second it hit 4. And like the second that was closed, I would hit play on Elden Ring. Like I wouldn't even get up after I was done work. I would just sit here and play Elden Ring again. So yeah, I was totally obsessed with this game since it came out. That implies I'm done with the game. Not done with it at all. Like I'm gonna hop back into my main character, like my only character right now. I've got the co-op character and my mage character. I'm gonna hop back into it and see if I can maybe get a couple more of the achievements. I don't know if I can find like all the talismans and things like that. I'll use a guide now because I'm done the game. But there's so many other builds I want to try. Like being a mage was awesome, but I picked up so many cool items, so many like swords and stuff that I was like, oh, I want to do a playthrough of this. So no, I'm not done with it by any stretch of the imagination. I'm gonna keep playing it for a while, but I might try and take a little bit of a break now. We'll see. So yeah, I'm a little torn on where I would put it, amongst the other 3 Dark Souls games. It's almost hard to compare them, because obviously 1, 2, and 3 were so similar. They were all a lot more linear, smaller scale than Elden Ring. So I think both game formats of Dark Souls and Elden Ring have their pros and cons. I really love in Elden Ring that it's so open. You can go up to a boss like an hour in, get stomped, and say, okay, I'm gonna go explore the lands for fucking 20 hours, and then I'll come back and stomp this boss. I really like that. I love the flexibility of the game, I guess. You have so many options, so much build variety, you can customize your character as much as you want, you can play with NPC summons, you can play with the Spirit Ash summons, you can play with real people, you can go practically anywhere in the game, which is really, really nice. You can go grind for hours if you want, and then come back to a boss. See, I love that flexibility. That's probably my favorite thing about Elden Ring, and it's not something you really see too much in Dark Souls. You know, Dark Souls 2, for example, is quite open. Like right from the start of the game, you're told you have to go kill the 4 old souls, and you can do those in any order you want. But eventually, if you're stuck on Duke's dear Freya, eventually you're gonna have to kill her, and there's not too much you can really do if you get stuck on her. Whereas in Elden Ring, if you get stuck on Margit or whoever he was, that first tricky boss, you really can just head back into Limgrave for another 10 hours and wander around and do like smaller dungeons and get more souls and stuff like that. See, I really, really like the freedom you have in Elden Ring. But obviously it is a slightly different game because it is a fully open world game compared to Dark Souls. And I guess maybe that's also a con, because Dark Souls have done so many separate playthroughs of the game, and like I said, like even the longest would only take like 30 hours at most, something like that. Maybe 40 in Dark Souls 3, I don't remember. We've done some pretty lengthy series. But even that's not that long compared to Elden Ring, so like, you know, Dark Souls 3, once I'd played it a couple of times, if I found a weapon I wanted to do a playthrough with, I could really be done that playthrough in, you know, 10 to 15 hours, something like that. Elden Ring, it's a lot more of an ask. If it took me 85 hours to do my first playthrough, like how quickly am I going to be able to get through it with another playthrough? I guess we'll find out. You can check in with me far later down the line, and we'll see how I'm getting on with my second or third playthrough. I do have to talk a bit about the technical performance of the PC version. It's very disappointing that we are now almost a month out from release. I think it was like, what, February 25th or something. I'm recording this March 21st. Yeah, we're almost a month out from release, and the PC version is still not very good. I have a very beefy machine now. When I first started the game, I was still using my NVIDIA GTX 1070, and I could just about get 60 FPS by dropping all the settings down and everything. But now I have a NVIDIA RTX 3080, which is a pretty solid graphics card, I've been told. And a lot of the time, I can run it at 1440p 60 FPS. That's a problem in itself, that it's locked to 60 FPS. It's not got an unlocked frame rate. So if you've got a 144 hertz monitor like I do, it doesn't look as good as it could. But there's definitely times when I get the stutters everyone talks about, the frame drops everyone talks about. There was this one part in the later game where, I'll try and keep it vague, there's lots of effects, lots of kind of explosion-y effects going on. My fucking frame rate went down to like 30 or something. I wasn't measuring it, but I could see how low it was going there. Just disappointing what the state of the PC version is right now. And I was willing to let that go in the first like week or so when I was first playing it. Like, I figured they would get a patch out pretty quickly for it, but like I said, we're now a month in, and there's been big patches. Like, there was the most recent patch was like 11 gigs or something like that, 16 gigs, but it didn't really do anything for the performance. And apparently Valve managed to fix the performance themselves for the Steam Deck version. Something to do with it being on Linux instead of Windows. So I think they did that the day after it came out, and here's FromSoft a month on, they haven't improved the PC performance at all. It's barely affected my enjoyment, but it is noticeable, and it is a little annoying. It's a lot annoying. I saw a comment on Reddit like 2 days ago or something, where someone said that after the capital area, the game really took a nosedive for them, and I wouldn't say that's true at all. I thought there were some really cool areas after the capital, but I think there were far more questionable decisions after the capital. I'll try not to go into any details because after the capital is like fairly late in the game. But some of the areas and some of the bosses towards the end of the game were definitely questionable. Again, I'll try and keep it vague, but I've just obviously did the final boss of the game just before recording this video, and I was very surprised at that boss fight, and I'll leave it at that because I don't wanna get into any spoilers because obviously it you know, it's taken me 85 hours to play it. It's only been out a month. People might not have got there yet, but yeah, quite surprised at some of the later game stuff. And I do want to echo some of my thoughts I mentioned in the Radahn video I did with Taylor. That boss fight, bear in mind we are playing an unpatched version of Radahn. He's been nerfed since we made that video. But that boss fight, playing solo, very much felt like a totally random encounter. It felt totally random whether I would do good or bad against him. And some of the later bosses kept that feeling for sure. There was one, won't say in particular which one it was, but it's in an optional area late game, and it's considered by most people to be the hardest boss in the game, I think. That one was also felt so random to me. There were times I would get into the boss and like die before I landed like more than one hit, and then the time I managed to kill it didn't even feel that deserved. It just felt like it randomly had gone my way. Like I said, this video's probably a little bit rambly. I did just, you know, didn't write anything down, just finished playing the game, you know, got to the end of the credits, closed out of it, and thought I would just talk a little bit about it. I just remembered another comment I read on the Elden Ring subreddit, I think it was, where somebody said that all the people who are saying this is the best game of all time are all people who haven't left Limgrave yet, and that one also kind of stuck with me. Again, I don't think I entirely agree with that, but I think I don't know. I'm still extremely positive on the game, but I was possibly more positive with the game when I was still in Limgrave. Limgrave felt like a very fun area, especially because you can be there for so long. Like I said, I was there for about 18 hours or something. Everything felt fair in there, everything felt doable, and when you get to some of the later areas, things do not feel as fair. I will say I'm a little surprised at how big this game has become. Like it is basically Dark Souls 4. It's a much larger scale for sure, but the systems are all the same. The bosses are all the same style and everything like that. The menus are all the same. So it does really shock me that this has caught on so much larger, so much bigger than any of the Dark Souls titles did. And I remember how much I wanted them to make Dark Souls 4, even though they said they were done with it after Dark Souls 3. And boy, am I glad they didn't just do Dark Souls 4. Because Dark Souls 3 was already getting too, I don't even know how to say it, it was too self-referential, I guess. You know, there's Anor Londo and stuff in Dark Souls 3. There's so many references to the first Dark Souls in it. It didn't feel nearly as original as it should have. And then we get Elden Ring, which is a game far, far bigger than Dark Souls 3, and it's all original. There's hardly any references to Dark Souls, at least nothing as on the nose as just Anor Londo popping up out of nowhere. So as sad as I was for like 4 years, I guess, that they said that Miyazaki said we were never getting Dark Souls 4, I'm glad now. I'm glad they didn't just do Dark Souls 4 and made Elden Ring instead. And I know I said I'm kind of like torn on where this game falls in my favorite games. I mean, none of the other Dark Souls games has gripped me as much as this one did, really. Like, I didn't think about them all the time, as much as I've thought about Elden Ring, as much as it's seeped into my being over the past month. So as much as I'm not happy with the technical performance of the PC version, and as much as I find a few of their decisions questionable, I still think it is a tremendous game. It really does feel like it was designed just for me. I love Dark Souls. My favorite part about Dark Souls was the freedom of choice, that you could really customize your own build and approach things in your own way, and that's just amplified so much in Elden Ring, so it really does feel like it's basically just the perfect game for me. So there you go, those are just my very rambly thoughts on Elden Ring as someone who's just wrapped up an 85-hour playthrough, literally wrapped it up minutes before recording this video, so just wanted to talk about it a little bit. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or ask in the Discord. We're still talking about it in the Discord. It's good fun. Everybody's being really good about spoilers, which I love. And that'll do it for this video. I think I'm literally just gonna hop back into it and start up a new character. I thought I was gonna try and play something else, but I don't think almost 100 hours just isn't enough of Elden Ring for me. I think that kind of affirms that it's a game I really like. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!